What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Corpus Christi Originals. I'm your host, Jesus Hilario. Today, we're going to be going beyond the ordinary and into the paranormal with Monty Prescott, Shawna Davis of South Texas Haunts. What's up, you guys?
Hey, how's it going?
They investigate haunted places across South Texas, blending local history, mystery, and personal encounters. Joining me as my guest co-host, my friend Ben De Leon of the Recycle Corn Podcast. What's up, Ben?
How's it going, man?
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
Who's bringing in fresh questions from a first-time investigator's perspective. Whether you're a believer, skeptic, or just love a good ghost story, this is the one for you. Let's dive in. How y'all doing today, y'all?
Good.
Doing pretty good.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, Ben, what do you think? Guest co-host?
This is weird. I'm not used to being on this side of it. I'm used to having an assistant, not being the assistant.
Yeah. Shout out to your assistant. I mean, co-host.
Scuba, what's up?
Right on. Yeah. So, how did you guys get it? How did South Texas Haunts get started?
Well, it kind of goes back before South Texas Haunts. About 21 years ago, my mom and I started Corpus Christi Spook Central. And basically, we had a shop in Corpus. And we did automotive restoration and, collected cars, classic cars. And we started noticing a lot of activity. And we reached out to another group that was here locally in Corpus, and they came out, they investigated. We did some investigating inside that building, and man, I got stories from that.
Crazy.
And basically, my mom wanted to join the group, and my dad looked at me and goes, if your mom's going to do it, you're going with her because I don't trust this. So we went with them for a little while. Not a lot happened. And then one day I looked at my mom and said, hey, what do you think about Corpus Christi Spook Central? And she goes, wow, really? Who are they? I said, it's us. And she looked at me and said, you're crazy. And then we hit the ground running, and 21 years later, now we're South Texas Haunts. We're still Corpus Christi Spook Central, but for the last 5 years, we've been doing a television show with Chris Six Studios and traveling around South Texas, sharing the history and hauntings of a lot of spooky locations here.
That's so cool. Man, how did you guys cope that? That's awesome. So they picked you. They asked y'all to host the show.
Yep.
They had a show before, and they want. Oh,
This was totally brand new, and we got the phone call, and they were like, hey, we're wanting to branch out. We're wanting to do a TV show. And of course, my mom's like, it's just a Halloween special, because usually around Halloween, they'll call and say, hey, we want to do something for the news. And it was the Lexington was our pilot episode. We were all green. I mean, she accidentally hit her head on
I
the
knocked
Lexington.
myself out on that episode.
Yeah.
You actually see me on camera and grab for the wall because it was either the wall or I was going down. And then I was trying to explain a piece of equipment I've used 1,000 times. And it was more of a, this thing and that thing. And I was like, somebody come up here and rescue me. It took them a little while to figure out what was happening. But yeah.
I came in because I had to go get a piece of equipment. I came back on the set where the stage was, and I looked over at her, and I could just see her kind of, and I was like, oh, this ain't right. Something's wrong. Because she's umming a lot. When she ums a lot, something's wrong. And I walked over to her, and she goes, yeah, this thing, that thing. And like, no, let's go and turn the ghost box on. We do this. And I got it going. And she kind of walked off. And I was like, what happened? And later she had told me that she kind of rung her bell a little bit. And I was like, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
It'd have been fun if you had been like, the spirits have got me.
Right. They got me. I don't know what's happening. I'm being taken over.
But it was a fun experience. And then it was hit the ground running for 8 episodes. We're contracted each year for 8 episodes.
Nice.
And yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I gotta admit, when I was preparing for this episode, I saw Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
That right there is
See, it's right.
it's
Well,
required. For me.
Well, see, I heard your. I think it was your podcast. You guys have a personal podcast, by the way.
Yeah,
what is it?
Paranormal Distortions.
Awesome name,
Yeah,
dude. I love that
thank
name.
you.
Yeah. I think it was there on your story about the Spook Central name.
Yeah.
Where it came from. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. I'll never forget sitting in the movie. Every year, of course, I'm a big ghost head, and that's what they call people who love Ghostbusters. I mean, she should know.
I do.
So I had bought a 1962 millimeter ambulance, which I'm sure you've seen on my TikTok, and I've converted it to a 59. So every year when they show Ghostbusters, like I've got to go watch it. It's tradition.
That's cool.
So we're sitting there, and we're all in there watching it, and Dan Aykroyd's on the screen. He goes, "Hey, your girlfriend lives at the corner of Spook Central." And from out of nowhere, I see this hand and slaps me, and she goes, "That's where you got it." I'm like, "Yeah, that's where I got it."
Yes, that was me in the theater.
Yeah. So it was like, but yeah, it was one day I was just watching Ghostbusters, and I was like, Corpus Christi Spook Central, man, that's got a ring to it. And,
It does.
yeah.
It's so cool because like when Ghostbusters came out, I watched it in theaters, the original, like 5 times in one day.
Oh,
I
wow.
love that movie.
Same
Like,
here.
it changed my perspective of the paranormal as a kid. And I don't care what anybody says, like in Ghostbusters Afterlife, when Egon's ghost showed up at the end. I'm not ashamed to admit I
Oh,
teared
yeah.
up.
Yo,
I
And
did.
every time since when I watch that movie, I
Mhm.
still get a little, so like I said, it was a big part of my childhood. So um that's one of the things that sparked my fascination. I was like, they have books on ghosts. Like, where do I find these? Like, I need to get them right
Mhm.
away.
And it's amazing the number of books there are about ghosts and
Mhm.
about the paranormal. Like you really don't realize that until you start looking into the paranormal, and then it's like there's a whole section
Right.
of
Yeah.
paranormal books.
So what inspired y'all personally to dive into the paranormal?
So I was kind of grandfathered in. I've always had experiences like a kid and as an adult, but I never was somebody who was like, "Oh, I want to go investigate the paranormal."
Mm.
That's how we met. He was having a public event, and some friends talked me into going. I was very like, "No, let's not do that. Let's do something else." But I went anyways, and I called him the nerdy guy behind the computer,
That came back to haunt
and
her.
yeah, here we are. So when we first got together, they were still doing investigations, so I would tag along here and there. And then when they came for the show, it was kind of like, hey, you're kind of the business mind of this relationship. I need you to be part of this. And so I kind of got grandfathered in on the whole paranormal thing. I do believe I had experiences, but that's kind of what got me into it in all reality.
I've always been into the paranormal. Like the house that I grew up in, there was always something happening. Like after my grandfather passed away, a friend of mine were in the backyard. It was late. We probably were up to no good. And all of a sudden, from the back window, we could hear my grandfather go, "Monty, Carlos, you boys shouldn't be outside. It's dangerous."
Oh, wow.
He looked at me. I looked at him. He goes, "You know?" I said, "Yeah." And he is, "Yeah." He never came back to my house. And there was other things, footsteps. I mean, the whole realm of just things moving, doors closing, dishes clattering. There was never a dull moment in that house, and it scared me. But
Right.
then when my mom, I guess Ghost Hunters came out, and I was watching that show, and then when everything inside our shop started happening, I was like, well, this is what we do. Let's turn the lights out and go down the shop. And I had this Camaro seat sitting off to the side, and we're walking down the center of it. And all of a sudden, you could see like a black mass shadow standing in front of us. And that seat that was all the way off to the side was now laying in front of us. It moved on its own. And then, of course, we contacted the other group. She wanted to do it. And then I kind of like, okay. And that's kind of how everything kind of started.
Wow.
I never even thought about investigating the paranormal. I thought it was just something that was there. And so actually investigating was kind of different for me. Like I never thought, oh, that's something I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And then here I am.
Like you know it's there. It's like, let's go mess with it some more.
Right. Yeah. Let's just see if it's there and it happens. It happens. It is what it is. But I never thought it would be something that I would actually seek to go and do. But being able to actually help people, I think, has been kind of the neat thing about it.
And that is something a lot of people don't understand. Just because we're investigators, you know, the city of Corpus and the surrounding areas have been so open and good to us that we've been able to do events to give back to the community, you know, Toys for Tots, local investigations to benefit historical places. We did ghost tours for 6 or 7 years down at Heritage Park, and every dime from any of those went back to the homes. We've never accepted anything from this. There is no money to be made in the paranormal. I got to meet Jason and Grant when they came down and investigated the Lexington, and Grant said, if you make it your first year, you're doing good. If you're around the second year, you've got it made. And he goes, there's no money in the paranormal. Don't expect money for the paranormal. Don't expect fame, nothing like that. Do it for the right reasons. And, you know, we work with children organizations like Special Hearts in the Arts.
Yeah.
October 25th, we're doing a public paranormal investigation in Berkeley, Texas at the Berkeley Mansion. And we've already sold out the 9:00 investigation. And all the money from that's going to go to help the floors, put a new roof, do a lot of the, you know, restoration and upkeep of the location.
But even helping people personally, right? Like
Yeah.
have lost somebody and they just want that last connection of being like, are they still watching over me?
Right.
That's even, you know,
Yeah,
that's cool to be able to help people with that also.
Yeah, I always tell people you actually lose money in paranormal investigations because you have to buy the equipment. A lot of times, equipment is not cheap.
Right.
Oh no.
You know, you can get certain things off of Amazon that are maybe $12, whatever. But then when you get to the, quote unquote, good equipment, that's when you know, looking at $400, $500, $600, $700 for an obelisk. You know,
Oh
Right.
yeah.
it's
And the prices have gone up on those things.
Yeah.
I've got the second one that ever came out, and I think we paid $100 for it off of eBay, and now I see them going for $3,000 on eBay, and I'm like,
$3,000.
$3,000's what I saw. That's what they were asking. I don't know if anybody's ever paid it, but I was just like, why is it so much? Be very careful with it. Very careful.
You think it's the influx of more investigators wanting to investigate?
I think it's TV shows. I think it's the entertainment aspects. You know, we're right here next October where all that comes more in the open. It's more talked about because it is the spooky months, and people see it on TV, and some people have a passion for it, and they go out and investigate, and some people just want a really good scare.
I think it's the curiosity of it.
Well,
You
that
know,
too.
they see things on TV and like, oh, well, if they can do that, why can't I do that? It's just like anything else. But then you also have people that have lost loved ones, and like, well, if they can reach out and they're getting these things on TV, not realizing the things that happen on TV 9 times out of 10 aren't going to happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? That you can go investigate a building for 10 hours and nothing happens. Where if you watch it on TV, it looks like something happens every 5 minutes.
Yeah, investigations are boring. They are very boring. You get to about the 1 or 2 o'clock, and you've said, "Do you want me to get out 100 times already?" But there's always, you can do 10 investigations and not get anything, and then there's that one that keeps you going for another 10.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on, Anthony Diaz on YouTube? Thanks for joining the YouTube chat. Yeah, you mentioned something interesting about the community, how they like kind of work with you. I guess is there like maybe like a highlight or something that you? Well, you mentioned the heritage and all that stuff like that. Did you think that would happen when?
No,
You know?
starting out, I didn't think something like that would happen, but you know, I was raised to leave a place better than what you found it. And Corpus, I know a lot of people say a lot about Corpus, good and bad. I love my town. This is my heart. You know, I live here. I love here, and I'll do anything for my city. And being able to give back to these historical homes to keep them around another 100 years is to me is worth it, because a lot of Corpus's history, it disappears each day.
Yeah.
And you know, we'll tell anybody, you cannot have paranormal without history. You can't have history without paranormal. It goes hand in hand. And being able to get in these locations and give back. I mean, when we first started doing it, they asked us, well, how much do you want to get paid? I said, nothing. And they looked at me like I was crazy. Like, you're willing to do this for nothing? No, I don't want anything. Nothing. I said, I just want to be able to give back to the community, and meeting everybody. I think in one night, our very last ghost tour down at Heritage Park, I think we ran, man, it had to have been a couple hundred people. We wrapped it around the park.
Wow.
Yeah, and we raised quite a bit of money to put the benches, to fix porches and the roofs and stuff like that. So
cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, the jazz festival's coming up. It's over there every year. Yeah, I love jazz. Real quick, shout out to, I guess this is the sponsor spot. I had one last episode, but I guess you can check out CorpusChristiOriginals.com. I got merch there to help support the podcast. Yeah, so check that out. Appreciate you guys. Paranormal experiences and stories. Let's see. What's the most chilling case you've ever investigated in Corpus Christi?
Oh, wow. Oh, I've done so many. Now, of course, the one that everybody wants to talk about is the one that we were featured on Discovery Channel show, A Haunting. I won't say the name of the street. It's easy to find. And a lot of people ask, why don't we say the name of the street? We made a promise. And when we make a promise to keep a residential investigation confidential, we do it. Unfortunately, the newspaper guy who wrote the article about it, well, he was a little smart and went to the people who were renting the house, and you know, but I'd have to say that investigation's up there, at least in the top 3. That house, you did not feel welcomed in that house. I mean, it was, every time you walked in, it was an energy of just hate, of just, you know, some of the EVPs, it's like on TV, it says, I'm here for the girl, but the real EVP said, I'm here for the child. And it focused a little bit on, because there was 2 other children there. Of course, they didn't feature that on TV because it's TV and they were underage at the time. But it focused around the children of the home, and it was just something that was going after them to the point of they, you know, it's real where he tries to get the door open and that's missing it. He couldn't get the door open. It was like, it was a brick wall. They couldn't get through it. Another one would be Sidbury House down Heritage Park. That, to me, out of all the places, would be one of the most haunted historical homes in Corpus. One night we were going to do a tour, and I set up cameras in there so people can watch and see for themselves, get an experience what an investigation's like. And our tech guy was upstairs setting up a camera, and he was, of course, setting it up, and it was facing behind him. And all of a sudden, there was an apparition of a person that just started appearing behind him.
Whoa.
And we're all looking at the monitor going, David, David, and it just disappeared. But of course, we weren't recording.
Yeah.
We were just setting up.
That's the way it works.
It always works that way.
Always happens like that.
It's like the spirits know.
Yeah.
We went to one place, man, I for the life of me, I can't think of the name right now, but it was like 6 hours away. And we got to investigate the home during the day. And I always tell people, investigating at night is awesome, but when you get activity during the day, that's a whole other experience.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no rules that says it only has to happen at night. So when stuff happens during the day, it's like, wow, like I can't believe we just caught this, or, this just happened, that just moved over there, or we heard footsteps, like what is going on? And that's, to me, I prefer a daytime investigation sometimes, because there's who investigates during the day, who stops to think about that. So there's, who knows what we're missing, just because we're only investigating at night. So I just want to throw that out there. So if anybody's watching, try daytime investigation.
No, and I agree. I think that's something that I wish the television shows would take into consideration.
Yeah.
Is it not always being the dark, the haunted at nighttime?
Right.
Because there are times during the day that things do happen. I've worked places that things happen during the day. One place that I worked, I won't say where it is, but we had a table tennis table that we had folded up, and the thing literally spun on its own.
Whoa.
Can't explain it. It's the middle of the day. So, I mean, things do happen during the day. And I think you're right. When you actually capture something during the day, it's a completely different level of paranormal activity, because you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
So y'all use EVPs. What does that mean? What's the acronym for?
Electronic voice phenomenon.
Oh, okay, so like audio.
Right. It's basically like an audio recorder you would buy, like if you were in school and you're recording your teacher talk, or you're recording a meeting. So basically, because our ears can only hear a certain number of volume.
300 megahertz and below, our human ears can't pick
Wow.
up. That's why we use audio recorders and parabolic mics.
Oh wow, that's interesting. So EVPs, photos, video. Obviously, you guys use that stuff. Is there anything that you captured that is like undeniable evidence?
I would say an EVP that you know for a fact somebody wasn't in the room with you, and you can definitely tell what they're saying. There's been times, because I listen to our EVPs, and there's times that I'm listening to audio and I know for a fact that that person wasn't there. For example, Old Girl's Kitchen in Kingsville, Texas. It was like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and we literally caught a child laughing. There's no children there, but you know how like a 2 or 3 year old just has that infectious giggle, right? You can't make up. And I was listening to it, and that happened, and I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, let me replay this."
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's what it was. Or catching a female voice when you know there was only men in the room, or vice versa, a man's voice when you know there was only females in the room.
Oh.
And so stuff like that you know for sure shouldn't be there.
Right.
Yeah, you had something?
No. I'm still trying to remember the name of that place that I went to. Start with a B. I don't know if it was like Barton Street House or something.
That sounds familiar. Barton Street House sounds familiar a little bit.
Yeah, and like I said, about 6.5 hours away, and that place was incredible. Like the energy there, it was spooky, but it was never scary.
Yeah.
So I if I could think of it, I'll say it. But
The one EVP that still kind of gets to me, I've got a private one, which I believe is a loved one that passed away, but the one I'm getting ready to talk about, it's the Yoakum Hospital, but we were just talking about a little bit before we started. And we were up there investigating. This hospital is in a residential area, and there's a story that goes behind it, but the evidence we captured sounded like a shotgun blast going off down a hallway, and it echoes. You can hear it engaging around, clicking, and going off. So one person on investigation will do the historical research, because none of us want to know until after, because if we get something, if we know beforehand, it's kind of tainting the evidence as we're going in. And if we can connect the history with the paranormal, it makes it the evidence a little more credible.
Oh wow.
So after that's said and done, we start looking at the history of it. Well, there was a murder there.
Whoa, that's crazy.
And the story goes is that basically a man was distraught because his wife was leaving him. So he goes up there. He's got a jacket on. Where's my wife at? Oh, she's on the second floor. She delivered children. So he goes up there. She comes out, starts yelling at him. He doesn't say a word. He pulls a gun out, puts it to her head, pulls the trigger. Now, the urban legend behind it is the blood spot there. As many times they replace the carpet, the blood spot continues to come back. So I had made friends with the law enforcement officer up there because he had stopped by. We investigated like 4 or 5 times. So I called him up and I said, hey, about that crime. He goes, yeah. He goes, well, I was real young. I was a rookie on the force at that time. I said, hey, what was the weapon used during that crime? He goes, it was a 12 gauge pump shotgun.
Wow.
Yep. And you can hear it clearly.
Wow.
And we had an off-duty CCPD officer that was with us on that investigation. Mind you, if a shotgun goes off in that building in a neighborhood residential area, we're going to have cops over there swatting at us. Yeah. So there was that. And then, of course, I believe that I have an EVP and it's not posted anywhere because it's really personal. But after my uncle passed away, it was probably about 3 or 4 days after my uncle passed away, we were doing a ghost tour down at Heritage Park. And we were adding I think it was the Guggenheim House to the tour. And I was like, well, I want to do some EVPs because I like to play them before people start walking the homes. And I wasn't able to be down there for that little mini investigation. But upon reviewing it, I got a voice that sounded just like him. It says, please let me go.
Oh,
Wow.
And I've shared it for a few family members, but I've never posted it out anywhere. It's completely private. But yeah, those are a couple pieces of evidence that still kind of, it chokes you up a little bit.
yeah, right on. Thanks a lot, Miguel, in Facebook. I guess he agrees with investigating during the day. Awesome. Yeah, you mentioned the B place, and you mentioned Kingsville. So what makes South Texas region stand out for hauntings?
I think it's the history, just
Oh, yeah.
everything that's happened down here, in the past. I mean, you think about the 1900 hurricane, the different trade things that have come through here just over time. And like you said, without history, you don't have paranormal. Without paranormal, you don't have history.
Yeah.
And as somebody like me who is not a big history buff, doing the paranormal has brought me into the history world, right? So
It
I
makes
can
it more
correlate
palatable.
right.
Yeah.
I can correlate the two together.
Oh.
And we've gotten that from fans too. They'll come in and say, I never really was into the history part of things, but now that you mention it and bring it that way, or people who are into the paranormal, into history, not into paranormal,
Yeah.
vice versa.
Wow.
But I think
That's
it's
so
just
cool.
the area that we live in and all the different things that have happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have one of the oldest cemeteries, right? Military
Yes.
cemeteries or something
Yes.
like that.
I think it's Bayside. I think it's Bayside.
I don't know.
Not Bayside.
It's
Or
the
Bayview.
one-
Bayview,
North
sorry.
side, right? And
Yeah.
the one in North side. Is that the one you're talking about?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Let's see. Do you believe that all spirits are harmful, and can some people be protective or peaceful? Or can some be protective or peaceful?
I think it could be a mixture of both in all reality.
I really think that if you were mean in life, you're mean in death. If you have that, if you were nice in life, you're nice in death. I mean, I've experienced both, where there's something, I can't say it's a demon or it's something demonic or anything. I mean, it comes close to that definition of things. But yeah, I think if you really look at it, if you're that type of person on Earth, I mean, I could only imagine when your time comes and you're out into the universe, wherever we go,
Interesting.
that you still carry that same type of energy and whatever that energy is.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Because we're all made of energy, right?
Yeah.
So your energy is going to be your energy no matter where your energy is.
yeah.
So they can. So I guess the paranormal. Can they harm you? I guess that's like my thing, because I'm like a big scaredy cat. So I'm like, can they like hurt you? You know what I mean? If you was to investigate, I mean, is that a question that comes up? You know what I mean?
I mean, we've been scratched. I got scratched on the USS Lexington on the back of my leg, which
Mhm.
doesn't make any sense because you're not really facing that way when you're going up and down things. He's been scratched at some of the jails we've gone to.
My mom was choked at the, well, it felt like choking. I can't say she was, but we were at the Old Lavaca County Jail.
I felt like I got choked at the old Rialto Theater
Whoa.
in Beeville.
Yeah. And,
But I didn't feel harmed the whole time it was happening. It was more like they were trying to get our attention.
Mm.
I couldn't catch my breath, but yet it felt like somebody had their hand like in the deep part of my throat.
Whoa.
But I didn't feel scared. Like they kept telling me to leave, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to leave. Like I want to stay here.
The old saying is that, the dead can't hurt you. It's the living. So always be careful of the living because you'll hurt yourself a lot more times than you want. So
I know for me, I always tell people like, because we investigated Yorktown, and they're saying, you know, how dangerous Yorktown is. I'm like, come on, no one's ever died during an investigation there. So the worst they could do is scratch you. I was like, I like getting scratched on my back. So
You missed a spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nueces massacre in 1962. Whoa.
18.
Oh, sorry, 1860. Oh shoot, that's way back there. Appreciate you, Anthony. Yeah, Anthony has a historical podcast himself.
he's
it's
our
called-
guy in the our guy in the chair.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome.
Yeah, has there ever been a case where you're like, this is too much, I gotta go? You know what I mean?
I can't say that nothing really comes up to mind that I can sit there and say that there's no way I would go back. We pretty much,
Those are the ones I want to go to.
Really? Oh, crazy.
well, it's kind of like when we did Fluff's White House in Floresville, and I'm watching the episode, and the whole story behind the mirror is demonic. It's a portal, and I'm sitting there watching myself on TV go, if you want me to touch this mirror, you know, and I'm like, touch the mirror, and I'm literally looking at myself, why didn't I touch the mirror? I don't want to touch the mirror. It's like, come on, Monty, come on, you know better. Come on.
But yeah, those are the ones to me I think would be intriguing, right?
Yeah.
Because you go to certain investigations and you hear, well, this is going to happen or this might happen. But to me, okay, let it happen,
Well,
right?
okay.
Show to me that this is here.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Let's see, that is one thing that like bothers me about paranormal investigation shows, when they're like, if you can, you know, if you're here, turn this device on, and then the device turns on, and then they go running out the door.
Yeah.
You literally
You asked
just
for it.
ask them to do that, and they're giving it to you. I would be like, all right, thank you. You
Right,
know,
yeah.
let's try
Let's do
something
this.
else.
Yeah.
You know,
Here's a piece of, you want to bite of my
Right.
sandwich?
It's like that meme with Ben Affleck where it shows him standing there with a cigarette, and it's like another paranormal group comes in. He's like, "Oh, just really, it's
Right.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Like, I did what you asked. Now you're running. Why?"
Yeah, I like that his face on that meme. What location in South Texas do you think is the most haunted?
I think that is still left to be discovered, and I don't think that will be found in my lifetime.
Wow.
I think each investigation, each place, you know, like here's a really good one: Blackbeards on the beach. I've seen other groups go in there, and they don't come out with anything. We went there 3 times, but it was on the last time that we got that apparition in the back bar area. I think it's for personal experiences. That's really what you can only go off of until there's really a database that all groups can come together with evidence, and that really show that that's the one place we get the most evidence, because every place claims to be the most haunted. But for our investigations through 21 years, the most haunted would have to be a residential investigation in Taft, Texas. Yeah. That we went there, I think, a total of 12 times.
Oh,
And
wow.
there was even a priest brought in to that investigation. That's, yeah, it was the sulfur smell. I mean, it was pretty
Oh,
bad.
that sounds demonic.
Yeah, it was to the point of, there was one night we were doing EVPs, and I was using the parabolic mic, and my tech guy was over in one corner. He wasn't saying nothing. I was sitting there, and I got a voice that came across that said, "Constantine, it won't work." And of course, you know, I'm a goofball sometimes on investigations.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Constantine, Keanu Reeves, a good movie. I like it. And David looks at me and goes, "What did you say?" I said, "Constantine." He said, "It's not going to work. Good movie." No, come here. And he takes his hand and he holds it out like this, and he had the medal of God. He goes, "I was praying to myself."
Oh wow.
He goes, "I didn't say nothing." He goes, "It was in my own head that I was praying, because it was so bad. I watched my headphone wires lift up and kind of boop, and then sulfur smell. The priest didn't even stay that long.
Oh,
And citrus smell, for whatever reason, you would get blast like you were in with wind of just citrus, and it would engulf you, and the smell would just stay on you.
no.
But just everything from the sighting of a little girl inside the house to what the family was experiencing, it was almost like Amityville kind of style, how the family arguing all the time at each other's throats, the kids doing bad in school, stuff like that. But once they left the home, the family, it was back together. Everybody was happy.
So then it was the house, not the family, that was
Yeah.
haunted. Interesting.
But the thing about it was, there was a table supposedly in this house, and the story that they were told is that there was Wiccan and stuff practiced on it, and they were told to burn the table. So that's what they did. And of course, it was the blackest smoke they've ever seen, stuff like that. Well, I was like, well, that can be debunked. It could be oils in the wood, stuff like that. But after they burned it, all the activity picked up fivefold.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Something could have been containing it, and then you destroy
let it
the
out.
vessel. It has nowhere to go. So
And a lot of people don't realize sometimes bringing home antiques, you get something a little more than what I've done it a few times.
Wow.
we just bought a chair at Goodwill. Really nice, sturdy chair. The first thing I tell my wife is, "You're gonna cleanse it before it comes in the house, right?" She's like, "Oh, definitely, I got to."
So
Just in
you're a
case.
skeptic believer? Somewhere in between?
I believe, but at the same time, I'm extremely skeptical because to me, like I said, if there's a cup, let's say the cup sliding across the surface of a table, my first thought isn't I got to get out of here or whatever. My first thought is maybe there's condensation. The table's off a little, off level, so it's creating that kind of slide, whatever, where it can go. So my thing is I'm very skeptical. So I want to eliminate everything to where at the end of it, there's no doubt that whatever just happened was paranormal.
Exactly.
So it's I guess you could say like a very scientific way to think about it, but I'm just not like, oh, everything is paranormal or everything is not paranormal. There's a happy medium somewhere. I just happen to lean more towards there's got to be a rational explanation first, and then if it's not, then okay, yeah, we tried everything else. All that's left is paranormal. So,
And that's what we tell everybody. For 21 years, we told everybody, be skeptical. I want you to question everything because, yes, we have a belief that there's something beyond this. I mean, if you look in outer space, I know UFOs has been a big deal on the news with the government and stuff. It's like, if there's something like that out there, anything can be possible, but question everything. Not everything is paranormal. Don't jump straight to the conclusion that something is haunted. Investigate it, question it, look at it from every side. It was like someone that contacted us because her angel would turn and she wanted an investigation. So we go to the house, do a preliminary kind of walkthrough. On the other side of the wall is the washing machine. And I was like, ma'am, could you go do a load of laundry real quick? And she did. And guess what? The angel turned.
Oh, wow.
It's like an experience of mine. We lived in a house out in Flower Bluff. And for whatever reason, one night I was upstairs and I had seen a couple things in the house. And I always just kind of, don't ever investigate where you lay your head. I learned that a long time ago. But there was a little like wet bar. And one night I walked past it and the water came on by itself. Oh, so I walked around, I turned it off. I walked back around, it turned itself back on. Now, anybody can sit there and go, it's the pressure stuff. But I'm sitting there going, it's never done that before. So I walk around, I turned it off, and I went, listen, if y'all want it on, turn it on. I'm not turning it back off. I'm going downstairs. I'm going to bed. And it didn't turn itself back on. But I couldn't explain it. But I can't say that it is paranormal. It's just something that's unexplainable that I'll take with the rest of my life as an experience.
No.
So
That's awesome. Yeah. So you mentioned like history, how it's part of it. So the next segment we're talking about is culture, history, and legends, I guess. And real quick before I talk about that, like I've heard people like in Corpus, like if they're in a house, a new house, they're like, did somebody die in this house? You know what I mean? They ask that, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't know. Why? Does it feel weird? But so how do Mexican American and coastal bend cultural traditions shape local ghost stories?
I mean, I would think it does shape it because your culture is your culture, right? You grow up how you grow up, and one person may believe something somebody else doesn't believe. And so you're going to grow up hearing lore throughout your culture, right? One family member passes it to another family member and so forth. And so I think it just shapes it. Like, you have the story of, I'm going to say it wrong, La Llorona, right?
Yeah.
And so you hear people tell that story over and over again, but you're going to run into somebody else. It's like, what are you talking about? But then they're going to say, oh, well, the story of the crying lady across the road or whines for her children, right? And they're like, oh, well, that's this in my culture.
Or Chapita Rodriguez.
Right. Or Chapita Rodriguez, right? And so I think culture has a lot to do with just anything, no matter where you're from. Even if you're not from South Texas, we can go to Arizona and they're going to know the same stories, even though they're not from South Texas. So it kind of just depends on your culture in general, what your background is.
Yeah.
So you'll see that overlap between cultures.
And we even see that online. We posted a story. I don't remember what it was called. on Facebook the other day, and people were coming in there commenting, "Oh, we call it this here," and they
Yeah.
were like up north somewhere,
Oh wow,
but they knew what we were talking about.
interesting.
So like the La Llorona, I guess she gets around because like she was in California, because there was a video posted, in California that they're saying like, oh, you can hear the cries of La Llorona, by the water and all that, but it's just a drainage ditch that had water going through
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, come on.
It's the mom singing across the street.
And see, that's that
They were in
skeptical
the
part
shower.
of me. Like she get frequent flyer miles. Like she gets around more than I do. Come on.
Right? Or even like the chupacabra. Like I've heard stories, people in New York saying they saw the chupacabra, and I'm like,
It's like Bigfoot.
were they on
Yeah.
the
Well, see,
boardwalk in
like, I
Lake
grew up-
Jersey? Like,
yeah.
what's happening here?
Like those are giant rats. ROUSs.
Yeah.
Yeah, kukui. That's the
Right.
one.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that? We just grew up saying it.
That's just like a generic kind of boogeyman
Yeah.
term. Whatever. Anything.
He's gonna
could be
get you,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the movies don't help that any, right? Because they made a movie after La Llorona, right? And wasn't there a movie that came out? And so, and like the Boogeyman movie, like
Yo, real quick, shout out to the Night Creature Productions. They
Yeah.
actually made a movie. You know that? Do you know?
I don't know him personally, but I've ran into him a couple of times at some events. I've
Yeah.
seen some of their stuff. We follow each other on Facebook. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they made one on El Kukui.
I was about to say that Anthony beat me to it. The chupacabra originated in Puerto Rico, so
Yeah.
it got here somehow.
Bring a lot more miles.
Have you heard of the Montauk monster?
Mm-mm.
Okay, because that gets into like cryptids and stuff, but apparently they think that the chupacabra was the Montauk monster or a version of the Montauk monster. That was like some kind of hairless thing, whatever, that washed on the shores of someplace. I'm sure Anthony will chime in. 50 Shades of Terry, y'all gotta check out this podcast.
Yeah, for
But just so some hairless animals showed up, and people just automatically, that's chupacabra, and then they
Right.
tested it and it turned out to be something else. But at least I think that's how it went. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm skeptical of that because it's like coyotes. I mean,
But you know what I love about it is because there was a location that we were trying to get. It was a big debacle about it. It was a yes, then a no.
Oh.
But we were trying to feature this season on the show, and basically we were told that ghost stories and legends like that don't play a part in Texas history. And I'm like, it does. That is what part of Texas history is built on, is these
Right.
stories that's passed down from generation to generation, and how they transcend us. They're just not right here. They're in Mexico. They're in Oklahoma. They're everywhere around the world. Everybody has their own versions of it. And it's amazing to see how those stories change in each region and how it just keeps those stories alive. I love that aspect of all this.
So cool.
Yeah.
Y'all, so regarding like stories and stuff, or before you do an investigation, do you do research? And how much research do you do? Or
We try to dig as deep as possible. We usually rotate where we choose one person, like, okay, it's your turn to do it. And they go investigate the history, the location, and everything they can find about it.
Cool.
And then they'll compile it in a file, and then it's just buried until after the investigation. So then it was like, well, we got this name. Well, wait, I got this on history. That name, just like that hospital I was telling you about the shotgun, we had gotten an EVP from there that says, I'm Dr. Trott. Well, after doing the historical research, there was a doctor there that worked there. He had a heart attack after delivering a baby, makes it back to his office, collapsed. They transport him to Houston, where he passed away in transit. But we got a male EVP that said, hi, I'm Dr. Trott. Well, we did more research. His family practice is still there. So the word gets to his daughter, who is still alive. So we bring her in the hospital. We go up to the room where he delivered babies. Mind you, this is the dead of summer, heat and sweat like crazy. And that room turned ice cold. Oh, wow. She got in there and she was crying. We got responses on EVP. Of course, we went through it. I don't have any of those anymore. I gave them to her for private. That was a private moment for her. But it was one of those moments where it was like really where you could see the other side connecting with what's still here. And, that's why we always say, do that history research. That history will connect, and that will give you even more legitimately to the evidence that you capture.
Speaking of research, I want to talk about a boogeyman that some of our listeners think is a boogeyman, which is AI. Do y'all use that for research, or?
I've used it. I'm guilty of using it a little here and there. I like freaking her out on the whole. It has a voice and talks to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like freaking her out.
I like that. I mean, I think it's interesting. Of course, Anthony will probably be like, you know, he's one of the AI devils. But I mean, I understand where he's coming from. But at the same time, it's like any other tool.
Oh yeah.
It's just how much power are we going to give this thing? You
Right.
know, that's my concern. But I will use it. I'll use it as a starting point and then take it from there. You know, that's where you give it that human touch.
Yeah, she gets on me sometimes. I'll write stuff, and she's like, "This is wrong. That's wrong." I was like, "Fine, I'll just throw it in ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I'll humanize it. We'll be all right. You know, so it'll make sense." But you know, like I was telling her, I said, "Wouldn't it be crazy to take like ChatGPT, put it on the voice thing, take it to an investigation, and have it do EVP work?"
Yo, that would be
I haven't seen anybody.
Interesting.
I haven't seen anybody do that yet, and it's like, man, I just leave it sitting in a room, set a camera up, and if it starts talking to something, it's picking something up.
Yeah,
So
set a recorder or something.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
can capture. That is.
yeah.
I like that idea.
that's next level, bro. That's what I was
I
gonna
like
ask.
that idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, how advanced do you think AI will get from where it is now? You know what I mean? Do we underestimate how powerful that it could be? Or
I think
how-
we
you
do
know what I'm saying?
underestimate it. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be a lot more.
Oh, it's Terminator. It's T2. It's coming. I'm just
Coming?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Well, you've got Elon designing the robots to go to Mars. You put ChatGPT in its head. I mean, that's right there. I mean,
And even some of the apps that are out there, like Ghostbox and Ghostbox and things like that, they're all AI
Yo, they
generated.
got those already?
Yeah, they're out there. When we do public investigations, people will comment and they're like, "I don't have any equipment. I can't afford the equipment." I'm like, "You do. Your phone.
yeah.
Your phone is a piece of equipment."
Wow.
And we've actually used Ghostbox. We use it. You'll see us use it on the TV show. But the
So
only
crazy.
reason that I use that is because I've actually captured EVPs that correlate what comes across on that. So I can validate, okay, maybe this, yes, it's AI generated. Yes, we use AI with this,
Wow.
but maybe it is actually worth its weight in gold because I'm actually capturing real evidence on real equipment that matches it.
But it's kind of like the obvious. A lot of people, they'll think this computer generated voice. Of course, the theory is that the energy it picks up, it can select what words. But in all honesty, it's a digital Ouija board. If you really look at obvious,
Yeah.
it's a digital Ouija board. It really is.
Wow. Yeah, there's Anthony. He's chiming in. He says,
Use Gemini.
You can use Gemini. Yeah, I use Gemini sometimes. Wow. Let's see. 42 minutes. I was going to hand it over to Ben here. Ben's got some questions.
Yeah. Before y'all went on your like very first investigation, right? What did y'all like expect it to be like? Because I know my preconceived notions. Like, what was it for y'all?
Well, our stories are going to be a little different. She's been doing this for 14 years with us. I'm 21 years. I can remember the first investigation. I want to say it was in Refugio. And this investigation came back and bit me a little bit all the years later on the show on season 2 or 3, the Alice tattoo shot.
Season 1.
No, it wasn't season 1. I was
Season 2.
Season 2. But we went out there and I didn't know what to expect. Now I was scratched on that investigation, and that was something that they had talked about. But I think in the back of my mind is I just didn't want to screw up and look bad in front of the homeowner. It's like I want to at least know them to think I know what I'm doing. I'm a rookie at this. And so many years later, the woman had contacted us because she had a shop in Alice. She owned a tattoo shop, and she was still dealing with the same
Mind you,
stuff.
he didn't know it was the same woman, and so we were interviewing her.
She started
And
talking
they had
about.
a moment like a mirror, and they looked at each other like,
She started talking like we had this other group come out there, and I'm listening, and I'm like, "Huh, I know that." But wait, that's me. The bad part about it is I was scratched on my back. Right, I'm in the house, so I lift up my shirt, not knowing that I was showing my buttocks to everybody outside. Yeah. So I hear everybody just start busting laughing, and I'm like, "What's everybody laughing about?" And I hear on the radio, "Shh, Monty, pull your pants up." Oh man, there's a camera there. But yeah, what is?
I
What was
don't
yours?
even remember my first investigation.
I couldn't tell you.
Is that
which one.
bad?
No, I mean,
It'd be Yorktown, I think.
No, I went to a residential with y'all.
Oh, that was
I went to
Rockport.
the one in Rockport where the guy thought we were hanging from trees.
Oh man.
Oh, wow.
I sometime soon we'll come back. We have lots of just blooper stories where you can hear
And
all that.
then
Yo,
I
bro.
went to another residential where the priest came in.
Yeah,
Um,
that was Rockport.
yes.
Yeah.
So 2 really odd ones in Rockport.
Yes.
Shout out Rockport.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't think I had any preconceived notions. Like, I'm one of those people that's just like, let's just do it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not somebody who like overthinks things.
Mm.
And so I think I didn't really have any like, oh my God, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. It was more of a like, let's just see what happens. I'm not an overthinker.
She's the level-headed one out of the relationship.
Wow, how do you do that? Oh my God.
Yeah. What's that like?
So I mean, if anything, it was kind of more of a like, is this going to be like it is on TV, right? Like, is anything going to happen, or is this just going to be a waste of 4 hours? I'll never get back in my life.
Right.
So yeah, I guess that's pretty much mine.
For me, okay, so my first real investigation was Mineral Wells, the haunted hill house. Now you talk about being thrown into the deep water. They throw you into a house with, suspected demonic activity. And I went in there thinking like, I'm gonna be like the TV shows and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I totally punked out. Like I was telling my wife, like, don't leave me alone. Like, so and after that, after I realized, that I kind of punked out, whatever, I kind of changed my mindset a bit. That's when it's like, no one's ever died during an investigation. So next investigation was Yorktown. So I was kind of, my buddy Scuba was all like, hey, I need you to take this camera down to the basement and put it where. Okay. So I went and I did it. He came back, he's looking at me like, who are you? And I'm like, you know what? This is kind of my redemption, know? So we did go back to Haunted Hill House afterwards. And again, like I said, I conquered Hill House. So,
There you go.
If you could say it like that. I mean,
I still get scared on investigations.
oh yeah.
I mean, there's moments of hesitation, anxiety, and it's like, okay, it's that moment of I'm in a jail, haunted jail, and I'm alone in the dark. What am I doing?
I mean, I ran from mannequins at Yorktown.
She did.
Like, I walked the whole hospital, no flashlight, nothing. And an investigator and I, she had a flashlight in her hand. And of course, at that time, they were using it for storage for a haunted house. And we had walked up that main corridor, I don't know how many times. And she flicked her flashlight, and my peripheral vision caught a room full of people that wasn't there the 100 times that I walked by it. And at that point, I ran. So, yeah, it's the fake stuff.
She could have qualified for the Olympics coming out that front door. I'm like,
I'm back
what's
to my
going
soccer
on?
days.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on?
Doing hurdles and stuff.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, hello.
I was
But they were
where
like-
did she get the pole vault?
Right?
Yeah.
They're like, you walked that entire hospital with no flashlight, and now you're running? I'm like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, because that room of people was not there the 10 times I already walked by it. So, yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about what were you talking about just now? Like, what am I doing, right?
Yeah.
Is that like a form of imposter syndrome? Like, do you get that? You know what imposter syndrome?
No, I get totally. No, it's one of those moments where you can't believe you're doing what you're doing, and then everything else kind of hits, and it's like, why am I doing this? It just kind of hits you all at once, where it's kind of like, I've been doing this for how long?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, okay, and then you kind of just go back to what you're doing. It's just- But you just have those moments where I've been in locations like, I've been in the Illinois County Courthouse. I've investigated the Illinois County Courthouse. And the first moment I walked in there, and the gentleman who was in control of it handed us the keys and said, lock up when you're done. And I had that moment of out of body experience. Like, did that just, am I where, you know how many people would love to be in my shoes right here? Right? Exactly.
For real, bro.
So you have that moment of like, this is surreal. There's places in Corpus and other places I've had to sign NDAs that I cannot discuss that I've been in those locations.
Oh, wow.
And just going in there, standing in those locations, and you have those moments where it's like, I can't believe I'm getting to do this. So yeah, it's surreal.
Right on. Well, you got another question?
No, that was a good word for it. Is surreal, because it really is a surreal situation, because you're willingly putting yourself into the unknown, and that for humans, normal humans, that's the most terrifying thing is being, where you're not in full control of your situation, of your capacities, of your senses sometimes. And it takes a lot of nerve, and people think like, oh, it's fake, it's this, it's that, a lot of preconceived notions. But then you say, well, why don't you come along? And they'd be like, no.
Yeah.
Like, so you have to have a kind of nerve, and I applaud the people who do it, and who have faced it, with grace and with humility, and with the sense of adventure, because it really is an adventure.
It
Yeah,
is,
it
yeah,
is.
for sure. And that's not to say that, like, I know I say like, whatever happens. It's every time we go into an investigation, I have that moment of like, all right, I'm not fully in control, but it's gonna be okay. Like, you have to like pep talk yourself, just like anything else you do.
But I also think when it comes a moment where you walk into a place and you have no emotion, no fear, no anxiety, I think when that time comes, it's time to hang it up, because you have to take in every sense of every location, because you feel it. I mean, there's some people believe that houses and buildings they vibrate a certain frequency, and you feel that frequency inside those locations. But when that moment comes and you don't get that excitement and you don't get that fear and you don't have those emotions, it's my time. It's time to let
Yeah.
I told Days over at Blackbeard's, he was sitting there, and when we did Blackbeard's season before last, and I told him, I said, this is our last time investigating here. And he's like, why? I said, because it's time to let someone else come in here, and it's time to let them have fun. Let's see what they get now. We opened so many doors through the years to so many locations that didn't open doors to paranormal groups. And I see groups now, and they're going into these places, and the evidence they captured, like Steve, he's gone to a lot of places, he's captured evidence, and it's like, wow, that's awesome. And it makes me happy that we have been able, if anything, we've been able to open the door a little bit more, because there was other groups before we were around. And then for the longest, we were the only group. Becky Schrolen, she had Corpus Christi Paranormal Group, and Sabrina had the South Texas Paranormal Society. Those were the two groups that were here when we started. And of course, Corpus Christi Organizational Paranormal Science. That was a group that we had joined back in the day. And that's such a long name. It's such a long name. But it's amazing to see what these groups and what the evidence they captured, and if it any way connects to things that we've captured.
But that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be this big competition of like, oh, well, I went here and I captured this
Yeah.
Right.
versus what you captured. No, it should be this big society of people working together and being, oh, cool, you caught that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Not
A
the
community.
competition,
Yeah.
the community.
Or
Right?
as they call it, para-unity.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
We actually did investigate Blackbeard's.
Mhm.
My wife went with me. She had she was in the ladies' restroom doing some EVP work when something whispered in her ear, and we were like, no one was around her at the time. And so that was one of the situations that really, I don't want to say freaked her out. It just excited her. She's like, this just happened. And, you could tell she was just like, yeah, like, let's keep going, So that's one of the things that it's never happened to me. A situation like that. I've never gotten touched. I've never gotten grabbed. I've never had something whisper. It's like, what is it about me that I'm not getting?
That's funny. Yeah, you had a question in here for yours, Ben. It says, what did you learn about yourself during your first investigation, or what have you learned about yourself doing these investigations? Has there been any like reflective moments, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we're always growing. We're constantly growing. I mean, I learn stuff every day, doing the podcast, I learn stuff. I had some ladies yesterday. It was like the first women's edition. So even there, I had some reflective moments about myself. Do y'all have that when y'all are in what y'all are doing?
Oh, for me, all the time.
I would say definitely all the time. I mean, I think every investigation is a room for growth, right?
Mhm.
Like, it shows you that you are capable of doing something you thought you couldn't do. There's times that we go into investigations and I'm kind of like, okay, well, we've been here before, nothing's going to happen. But then something happens, right? And so it's one of those things, never doubt something. Just because you've experienced something once doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. Like, right? Because I know a lot of times, even going through life in general, like, oh, well, I've been in this situation. This is how it's going to turn out. Maybe it's not going to be that way this time. And so just that self-reflection.
I think for me, it's kind of opposite. It's kind of strange. The paranormal has given me so much, but it's not the paranormal side of things. The paranormal gave me the love of my life. The paranormal has given me so many friends. Every year we play. Well, last couple of years she's kind of ducked out a little bit of Mrs. Claus, but we do letters to Santa in the Cal Allen area,
Nice.
and we play Santa, and we go. Like we said, we work with Special Hearts and Toys for Tots, and just all these events that we've been a part of. That's just because of the paranormal. And last year when we did the Halloween Live on TV. You know, growing up, I remember watching Chris Six, watching Dale Nelson on there, watching all the news things. And I was like, I sat there and I was like, my goodness, look where my life has taken me. And it's those moments that the paranormal was the vehicle to take me to all these great moments in my life and give me so much and give back so much. So that to me is kind of where I reflect on all of it.
Wow, that's cool. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm always curious about people's lives and how they change. You know what I mean? And so, I guess there's people that you may think that they don't change. You know what I mean? But
You have to cut anybody that sits there and says, you know, you're never going to learn anything new. No, you learn. At the end of the day, if you don't look back at that day and say, I learned something, you need to look back at the day and continue to learn and improve and evolve every single day.
right on, that's awesome. You have anything else, Ben?
Well, just to add on what you're saying, like people need to evolve, evolution. I mean, look what happened to the dinosaurs. They didn't evolve. So
Exactly.
let's just try to avoid that kind of.
Unless it's Jurassic Park, they'll be back in a year or two. So, all right.
So let me flip the switch, whatever. Any personal experiences y'all have ever had?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess I can. There was a guy I was working with. I was training him. Right, I'm a truck driver. We were training. I was training at night, and he's into like, did you see this? Did you see that? And he got next to me one day. He was like, did you see that guy over there? And like it's my peripheral vision. I'm like, I think I can see. You know what I mean? I can't. And then I look over there. I'm like, no, there's nobody there. And then that was already enough for me because I'm a big scaredy cat. I'm like, no, get away from me. You know what I mean? But I mean, I guess I'm skeptical. Like maybe it's just, you know, a peripheral vision or something like that. You know what I mean? So I'm real like, and then too, like I'm wondering what's the cross between like angelic, demonic, and ghosts and stuff like that too. So I'm just like, is it which one is it? You know what I mean? So I kind of just leave it alone altogether because I don't know. I guess just don't want to mess with it.
Yeah,
You know what I
makes
mean?
sense.
Makes sense.
So
Makes sense.
that's kind of my experience with it.
Makes perfect sense.
It's a healthy respect. My biggest, I don't want to say like paranormal experience. And again, I'm gonna kind of build off of what he said. I don't know if it was real or not. I was driving home from Fort Hood. It was in I'm almost to the one rest stop that's outside of the city, like that first rest stop that's right there. There's fog everywhere. I'm going through the underpass, and as I pass the underpass, I look to my side, and there's a dog running alongside the road trying to keep up with the car, but the dog is torn up. Like you could see the skeleton and everything, like the organs and all this. And the dog's face is, you know, half skull and everything. And I'm just there looking at this thing for a good 10, 15 seconds. And then a pole passes by and the dog's gone. And I'm like, did I just see what I thought I
crazy.
saw?
Wow.
Like, no, that can't be real. And again, I couldn't go, I wasn't recording. I
Right,
can't go
yeah.
back and
Yeah.
rewind, whatever. But to me, that's like okay, there's something else out there. So I want to find out what it is. So that kind of lit my spark. So.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So I guess let's see, what do we got next? I wanted to shout out some podcasts. I know you guys got one. You have another episode coming up soon. Paranormal Distortion.
Yeah, you got to talk to her. I try to keep us on schedule. She throws me off.
That's what I'm good for.
Keep you on your
Good.
toes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
Paranormal Distortion. We got Recycled Corn podcast, of course, and then 50 States of Terror. That Dude Talks by Chris Longoria. He's a comedian in town. They just had the first episode come out today. Who else? The Slow Roast podcast with Andy Blake and Joe Hillard. Check that out. It's pretty cool. Who else do I got out there? Riding High podcast. These are all local podcasts. If you want to check out local podcasts, there's a bunch of them. I just stumbled upon a lot of them. Actors Coming Together by Mario, who's part of the Night Creature production crew. They talk about they talk to actors. It's really cool. It's really neat. And then who else? I can't remember right now.
Scuba has his.
Yeah. Crypt of
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. So Scuba, I'm sorry. Crypt of I don't know. If you guys
Crypto
remember.
Cringe.
Crypt of Cringe. There you go.
Crypto Cringe podcast. podcast, and then of course something somewhat supernatural, his paranormal podcast.
Yeah.
I'll say this, it's amazing how many podcasts are in Corpus, and they're all equally just as amazing to check out, and everybody needs to. It really is.
Oh yeah, for sure. Cryptic
Cryptic
Cringe.
Cringe.
Yes.
There it is. Yeah, check them out. Add them to your Spotify list, and that way you can be notified whenever they got a new episode. Are you guys on Spotify?
No, we're
Probably
not
on YouTube.
We're on YouTube. We have been trying to be more social media minded. For a long time, we weren't social media mindful, and we've tried. I've got 21 years of evidence, and it was all about websites back in the days, putting everything up on a website so people go to. Now it's YouTube. No one goes to websites anymore. It's Facebook, it's YouTube, it's TikTok, and we have Paranormal Fear Haunted House, and then we've got the show. We got CC Spook Central. We've got probably about 4 or 5 pages, so we do all those all the time, and it gets daunting at times. So it's we're trying to get better with it.
No, daunting, like, because like
It's overwhelming.
up with it?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
overwhelming. The Facebook algorithm, I mean, it's you have to have that niche, and if you post something that isn't that niche, it doesn't get the reach. And it's like, I'm trying to advertise something. Just let people find it.
Open the floodgates for a minute.
That's one of the reasons why like my podcast really hasn't grown as much, because I refuse to play the game.
Yeah.
I'm all like, if people are gonna find me, they're gonna find me. Like I do what I do. I post what I post. It is what it is. So I'm just gonna let it happen organically.
And it's a game. It's definitely a
No,
game.
I like the challenge. It's like back in the day, the Xbox 360, where you get the little achievement. I check, like, oh yes, okay, I'm in the right direction, So I get a little bit of kick out of it. At the same time, you get burnt out really quick, and especially with South Texas Haunts, because now we're right here October. It's okay. We got to pick it up a little bit. We get all our clips and advertise the show and get it out there and stuff like that. I mean, this coming Saturday will be our first episode for the premiere of season 5 at Prescott, La Bahia.
Nice.
9:30 on KDF.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. That's
Yes.
awesome. It's awesome. I like that show.
It's gonna be awesome. I loved it there. It
It's
was such a good time.
It's an amazing place.
It really
And,
is.
the great thing about now is we were at one time just on Chris 6 and of course on KDF, but now they have Chris 6 Plus, where every Saturday night you can catch an episode of South Texas Haunts. Yeah. So we're now, we've grown more. So
Congrats,
everybody, because we have fans in the UK,
That's awesome.
and it's like, I don't know why we have fans in the UK, but they're cool. Right?
That's dope.
Well, then it also gives, because KDF isn't available on every cable channel
Yeah.
or cable provider down here. And so being on Chris 6 Plus, if you've got streaming, you've got an option to watch South Texas Haunts.
Yeah.
So,
Wow, that's cool. That's amazing. It's not even. I'm thinking like cable, right?
right?
Yeah.
But shoot, it's
Streaming on YouTube.
Roku everywhere.
Yeah, Roku,
Yeah,
Fire, whatever, Amazon.
you-
Fire.
Yeah,
Stick.
Fire
Fire
Stick.
Stick, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I have
amazing.
an Apple TV.
Y'all
so I
have
don't
put
know
in the
what
work.
ones are.
You deserve your success.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you. It's a lot of work. Even with the show, a lot of people, the show's 22 minutes, and then we do an hour and a half or an hour for Halloween, and we're there so long to get 22 minutes, and there's a lot of like, I want to go home and sleep.
Man, what is the edit? Do y'all edit it yourselves? Hand it off to somebody?
We hand it off to the studio. Gilbert, shout out to Gilbert Corpus. He's the guy that edits it. Actually, this season, there's one episode. I got the chance to edit my own episode this year, and I'm looking forward to it being broadcast. So yeah, I've
cool.
dipped my hand a little bit into the editing.
But we do go through all the evidence,
Yeah.
right? So if we're at a location for 10 hours and we have 10 auto recorders, that's what 100 hours of things we have to listen to or watch video.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
that's daunting as well.
Oh,
But
yes.
it's worth it.
I do not envy y'all in that. I hand it off to Scuba. I'm all like, here you go.
But he seems like someone who really gets into that whole
yeah.
just
Yeah, he
headphones
does.
on and just run with it.
He
Yeah,
laughs at me because I can watch TV and listen to audio at the same time.
it's great.
Oh,
Exactly.
oh, you know what?
ADHD brain, I guess.
Women are natural multitaskers. Men are not like
No.
that, and it blows my mind because
Mm-hmm.
my wife is the same way. She's watching a TikTok and she's watching a movie and she's listening to me talk and she knows exactly what's going on with each tree. And I don't know how she does it, but she is a
Yeah.
You all are incredible.
But sometimes I feel like I should carry a little holy water. When she walks around, knows exactly what I'm saying from 2 rooms over, watching TV, doing EVPs. I'm like, there's something evil going on there. She shouldn't be able to hear me.
You look at her and you flip her off, and she, I saw that. I'm like, no, you were facing the other way.
No, or when I get on,
We know exactly what's going on.
or how she knows when I'm on eBay looking at an automotive part, and I hear that my phone go off. I'm like, how does she know?
They know.
How does she know I'm
I'll
on there?
never tell.
Wifey sense.
It
I'll
is.
just tell my wife. I just tell my wife, you're not listening to me.
They're always listening.
Yeah. Oh, so we'll do some rapid bonus fire questions, or whatever you want to call it, for the. We're almost before we wrap it up. If a ghost could text you right now, what would it say?
What are you doing on a podcast?
Yeah. Shouldn't you be doing something? I don't know. I have no idea.
It would probably say you totally bitched out at
Or it's like, I watch you. I'm like, oh, whatever.
I watch you sleep.
Pretty much.
Which horror movie character would you not want to on your team?
Oh, Art the
I
Clown.
want them all.
I wouldn't want Art the Clown. That
I
guy.
don't know who Art the Clown is.
Terrifier.
Terrifier.
Oh.
There's just something creepy about that. Like Jason Voorhees, I love. Freddy Krueger, yes, all that stuff. But yeah, that Art the Clown guy is just like, I don't know. It's just the way he looks. He like, no.
Yeah, he looks great.
He was creepy.
I think Freddie would be a good time to.
That'd be
yeah.
fun. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I wouldn't want to party with the dude, but I mean,
All I know is the beep button would be going off every 5 seconds on the show.
If you could investigate any haunted place in the world, where would it be?
Oh, that's
A
easy for me.
castle overseas somewhere.
Chernobyl.
Alcatraz.
Chernobyl.
Wow.
I want to go to Chernobyl because if you think about it, spirits need energy to manifest themselves to do something. What's the most energy enriched place in the world? Chernobyl. 24/7 all day.
have you ever used a Tesla coil in your investigation?
I've seen it used, but I've never used one. But I've seen that it does. There is some positive results to it. Yeah.
I bought a mini one off of Amazon.
Mhm.
It's like $40. I recommend it, especially if you're not having luck with a room that you know has activity.
Mhm.
Pump it full of electricity with the Tesla coil, and it'll change.
I think season 6 we might have to do that. Either that or it's going to be a really good
See,
blooper. of me
you got
shouting.
ideas. I got ideas.
Yeah.
I saw it on.
We should work together.
I saw it on Ghostbusters. I'm not going to take credit for that one, but it does change things.
You know what's crazy? We don't watch any of the paranormal TV shows.
Really?
Yeah. We try to keep it original as possible. You watch something on TV and it's like, oh, well, we'll incorporate that in the show. And to me, that's kind of like stealing a little bit from other shows doing
Wow.
stuff. I like the ideas. Don't get me wrong on some things, but I like for us to remain as original as possible. And if we get no evidence, it's what you're going to see.
Yeah.
We didn't get any evidence. We're not going to hype it up and be like, oh, it's this. And it came out and had tea with us. And
That's very interesting because, like, you want to think that you're always going to find something.
But sometimes we don't.
yeah. A lot of these shows, it's like Jason with Ghost Hunters, he had talked about a little bit about when they were doing the first 2 seasons of Ghost Hunters. They would do like 20 episodes in a season. The season wasn't that long, but they wouldn't get anything, but they cherry picked every single one. So you got something. We don't cherry pick episodes. We've gone to places. There's one place they claim to be extremely haunted in Corpus, but I can't say it's haunted, but I'll say there's paranormal activity. Not every place we come across, and it's not to say there's nothing there. It's just that time we were there, we didn't capture anything.
Do you think that helps with people still coming back to watch the show, like them knowing that you might not catch something, or
I think it has. We've gotten positive reviews on that, where it's kind of, we're honest, we're straightforward. We put the evidence out there, and you might hear something different than what I hear, but I want you to tell me what you hear, and I'll put that out there also. The paranormal should not be a debate. It should be a discussion. And we all should continue to discuss every piece of evidence, scrutinize it, go through it 100 times, and just put the ideas out there of what we think it is, what we think we've heard, or what we think we see.
wow, man, that's passion right there. I hear the passion coming out of it, man. That's so awesome, dude.
It's like, let's unionize.
Yep.
Yeah.
We should do this. We'll just start the paranormal network, and then everybody's got a show. So
You mentioned something about having a database, everybody putting it on there. Is there like pushback between other investigative groups and stuff like that?
there
How do
has been. When we first started out in the paranormal, there was other groups around. They want to be the first. They want to be the best. And then there was a lot of trash talk, or paradrama is what we called it. And when you come across groups like that, you just ignore them. there's that old saying, if people's talking stuff about you, you're doing something right. And I've had plenty talked about us in our group and stuff like that, but I don't fire back. There's no reason to fire back. We just do what we do. And if we're doing something right, then, and I think going on 21 years in the fan base that we have and the people that put trust in us, knowing that when we go to a place that we're going to be honest and truthful and put the evidence out there and the history. And, I think it's paid off. And,
How do you
tenfold.
react when people see you like at HEB or something and they're like, hey, that's Monty?
I was at a suicide symposium last year and I was called the ghost lady.
Yeah.
Yep.
She,
I was there for work and I was at our table talking to some coworkers and this lady walks up and she's like, oh my God, you're the ghost lady, right? And I was like, yes. And so it's one of those, and I don't like attention by any means. Like I'm not that person. And so for me, it's kind of like I try to avoid it as much as possible, which I shouldn't. He tells me all the time, don't avoid it. Like we are who we are. For me, it's kind of just, it's strange in all reality. Like, cause I mean, I was born and raised in Corpus. Like I know everybody and anybody just about. Like I can't go to HB and not see somebody that I know. But when it's for the paranormal, it switches a little bit for me.
That's when the imposter syndrome's kind of
Right.
like,
I'm just
doing what I do.
Yeah, exactly.
I've had people come up and it's like, you're South Texas Haunts, right? Well, I'm part of South Texas Haunts. And I'll sit there in HEB or Walmart or wherever where someone talks and everybody has a story. And doesn't matter what's going on, I'll sit there and I'll listen to every story, because to me, that's a little piece of the history of CCSC, of South Texas Haunts. We're part of that. We carry those stories on and hopefully get to pass those on. And it's weird to get recognized from time to time. And it's strange, but it is cool. I ain't gonna lie about it. It's kind of cool sometimes, but just, always remain humble and kind. And that's what I try to do.
I've had a couple of situations where people come up and they're like, I know you from somewhere. And I'm like, it's the underwear ads. They're making the rounds again.
The one I love is if you go into Walmart and there's those people and they're either selling power or cell phones or whatever. I love when they go, who do you have your electricity provider? I was like, oh, my neighbor. I just run the corner. Who you got your internet by? My neighbor. He hasn't figured out the password.
No, I always tell them, like, I just switched to you guys. Like, I do. I got it from my wife, and she's like, try it, whatever. We were at Walmart, and they're like, who's your electric provider? Man, we just switched. It's awesome. Man, the rate is this and that, whatever. Like, oh, I'm so happy, man. Like, I appreciate it and all this. And I just walk off.
What's your favorite horror movie? We're almost done. A few more questions.
Man,
I have a favorite.
I'm not a big horror buff.
I was gonna say, does it have to be horror, or can it be like what do you call it?
Well, everybody's gonna know. If
Sci-fi or whatever.
If it's gonna be Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be Ghostbusters.
I like the two latest ones they came out were pretty cool.
Yeah,
and how they connected it to the old one, that was awesome.
And yes, I cried too in the theater. She has a video of it.
No, she took a video.
And the other grown
Hey, it was hard when all of a sudden you saw the hand grip the wand.
Yeah.
You feel it right here.
Right.
And
I was like, what are all these tears?
Yeah,
Like,
and
what's
she's just like,
happening?
are you okay?
It's like,
and the dude didn't even have to say a word throughout the whole movie.
No, I mean, the last time I cried at a movie was me and Marley. That hit hard. But Ghostbusters Afterlife, that was
cool.
Oh my goodness, that hurt.
So this.
I wish we could get a good horror movie,
Yeah.
right? Like, because all the ones that have been coming out lately aren't really like good, like, in my opinion.
What do you consider a good horror
Something
movie?
that's gonna scare me.
Oh, okay.
That's gonna make me think.
To bring a little Corpus history to a horror fan flick, I'll call it a fan flick, the Smith Building video. That scared the living bejesus out of me. Yeah.
Across the corner?
Huh? The one downtown, not that far from here.
Right, yeah. I know.
Yeah. That video, when I first got a hold of it, it kind of scared me a little bit. I mean, have you heard of the Smith Building?
What is it?
I've never been there.
It's right here it's a building now,
Yeah.
where it used to be, I think it's apartments now. And there was, after doing the historical research, there's 3 graves that's there. It was actually a saddle shop. And this couple of painter guys went in there and they captured a whole bunch of stuff happening. Now, of course, through the stories, some people say that it was faked. Well, I went to school with the guy. His name is Mike. And I went through that video and I found things that I can't find a reasonable explanation. Like, there's EVPs in there. There's certain things falling from the ceiling. I don't know how he pulled it off. I know later on, I think he said that there was, some of the stuff was faked in it. But that really, it was one of those moments like, wow, that scared me. That kind of, that put a little bit of fear into me. Yeah.
Well, if we're talking about things that you watch that scare you from the past, I mean, there's the video from my first wedding. Well, we won't get into that.
No.
Do you ever get nightmares from the stuff that you do?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have dreams about investigating, and it's not really nightmares. It's kind of weird. It's like a haunted house movie, but in investigations and things floating. It's the things that never happen. And
So crazy.
I sometimes, like I tell her, I was like, I can't wait till October 31st gets here just so I can have a break because if I go and do investigations, then I go to sleep. I'm still doing investigations. So
God.
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't. No.
Yeah. I'm a truck driver, and like sometimes if I work, like if it's a long week and I do a lot of loads, I'll be asleep and literally like I'll wake up like a car
Right.
coming straight at me. And I'll just go like this. It's so crazy.
Is your
that you-
brain still going?
Yeah, because the brain is like constantly on it. You're always thinking about it. Is there anything else you want to share before we close out?
Give anything?
No, thank you guys so
Yeah,
much.
definitely.
Yeah.
This was fun.
When we first started following the page, I always told her, I said, man, sooner or later, I want to go on there. I want to talk.
Oh,
So
that's
this
cool.
is an honor to really be on here.
Thank you,
this
thank
evening.
you. Yeah. And I funny, I didn't find you through the haunts. I found it through your personal page on TikTok.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is pretty cool content, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, the car stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I need to do more. I'm a little behind on projects, but
it's
I'm
all
going to get
good.
to doing it. Yeah.
It's all good. And so South Texas haunts everywhere. Is that where we find you guys?
Yeah, we're on every social media platform, TikTok, Facebook,
Instagram.
Instagram.
X. You name it, we're there.
Nice.
All the episodes are on our YouTube channel, so if you want to binge watch it, and then of course every Saturday night at 10:30 on Chris 6 Plus, and starting this Saturday night on KDF, I think it's
9:30.
at 9:30.
And
Pursuit. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Pursuit La Bahia, and then repeats on Sunday at 11:34 on
Yep.
Chris 6.
It's
Nice.
a very specific number.
We don't pick that.
You want to mention something before we take off? Ben?
Yeah.
Check out Recycled Corn. Binge
Yes,
on my
yeah.
stuff. I got really good stuff on there. Well, the past few episodes.
No, they are really good. I'm telling you, man. I'm like waiting for it to, because do you post like every Wednesday, every Monday, or
I
it's just
try
whenever?
to do it. I try to schedule it to where the episodes drop on Fridays, or should I like Friday at midnight, or Thursday midnight, whatever. So into Friday.
Yeah, right.
But I need to record this week. I'm gonna get some episodes lined up, so they're taken care of for October, but they're all gonna be Halloween themed, but still with the unshucked. The series I'm doing is Unshuck Yourself.
Yeah.
Instead, it's a self-help series, and it's all gonna be Halloween themed, but still within the self-help
Yeah.
genre theme, whatever you want to call it. It's just advice that I've heard, that again, it's recycled, and I've heard it before, so I'm gonna put it together and I'm gonna put it out there. And I'm sure everyone's heard the same advice before, but sometimes you just need to hear it from somebody else to be like, oh, you know what, that makes sense. Let's get started.
Yeah.
So
like
that's
that.
that's
Me
my
too.
idea for it.
Yeah, I was asking when you drop it because I'm always waiting for the next one to come out.
Yeah, Friday. It's Friday.
Dude, the sound quality is great. The how you script it, it sounds awesome. And sometimes I can barely hear the music in the back, but I mean, but it sounds good, bro. Like it's really good.
I appreciate. Well, I just don't want the music to overpower what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it works. It's working. Like
I
it's working.
appreciate it, man. That means a lot, especially coming from you.
Yeah, definitely. The Recycle Corn podcast. I listen to you on Spotify. That's how I listen to podcasts. And you guys' podcast coming out soon. So this wraps up today's episode for the Corpus Christi Originals podcast. Thanks to Monty Prescott, Shawna Davis of the South Texas Haunts, for sharing their stories and giving us a glimpse into what they do, the paranormal side of South Texas. And special thanks to my co-host Ben De Leon from the Recycle Corn podcast for bringing a fresh perspective and great questions and insights, and just bringing his whole aura in here is awesome, man. I love it. If you want to follow Monty and Shauna's work, check out South Texas Haunts anywhere on the socials and social media for the latest investigations. YouTube, you can binge watch on there. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, share, reshare. We'll see you on the next show. Stay tuned. See you guys later.